direct to you. That's my wonderful town.
Well, it's been a year and a half since you became the mayor of Kalamazoo. Is it what you expected?
It is. Not many surprises, with the exception of my schedule. My schedule is pretty outrageous. You know, I have two jobs. I work for Borges. I'm a director at Borges Medical Center, and then the mayor job, which is supposed to be part-time, but I think if you're really going to do it right, you need to give it a little more effort, though we have a great administration and city manager and staff.
How do you juggle that?
How do I juggle that? With many balls in the air.
Yeah.
It is not easy. I own a business as well. I didn't mention that a minute ago. It's not easy. Good thing I'm not married. I have no kids. I have a little house in the Stewart neighborhood, and go home, and it's dark most nights, and I'm only cooking for me and only raking my own leaves, and I only have a small yard, so I don't have many of those to do. It's not always easy, but it's a labor of love. I love it.
I was about to say, have you hired somebody to cut the lawn for you?
No one yet. I pretty much dirt in the backyard, and actually I have a push lawnmower, one of the old ones.
Wow.
Because my lawn is, it probably fit into this small conference room. That's as big as my lawn is.
Well, that's okay. It reduces your carbon footprint. Isn't that
Yeah, exactly. It's my hybrid lawnmower.
What's it like to be mayor of the town where you were born?
Ooh, it is sometimes daunting. It is humbling, and it's full of a lot of expectations because a whole bunch of folks get to know you over the number of years you live here and have expectations. And I know that I will never meet everyone's expectations, but I'll use my heart and soul, and have been every single day, to do this job. And people will love what I do or not, but we will do our best to make sure we're moving in the right direction.
I suppose that people who know you, once you become mayor, feel that they have quick access to you, an audience with the mayor, maybe like they didn't before. Has that been challenging?
It's been interesting. My friends, they have fun with it at times. Introducing me to their friends as the mayor, and I have to remind them, I think I'm your friend. My mother's kind of funny. She reminds me that I had a title prior to being the mayor, and that was her little boy. I try not to take any of it too serious other than doing the work, but the title not too serious. It's a responsibility, and we all have them. I just happen to have this one. You have them, and others have them. My friends are pretty respectful. They're not asking me to waive tickets or to pave their streets or any of those things that I really can't do. But we have fun with it, and they're very respectful and supportive.
What's the number one challenge we have right now in Kalamazoo?
Everyone wants to know what the number one challenge is, and I would say that everything is so interconnected that everything is our opportunity in this community. We know that we have a country and even a world that's going through some interesting financial challenges, and we are going through those ourselves. We've done some good work over the years to keep ourselves pretty stable, not necessarily preparing for this set of circumstances, but have been able to weather them a little bit different than other communities. But we still have some daunting things on the horizon, and we're going to have to be very diligent, and we're going to need everyone to get involved and understand that the decisions and the challenges and the opportunities we have ahead are not going to be simple ones, and they're going to cause us to really have to navigate strategically. And we need everyone to understand that and to be a part of this journey and engage on the city issues of the day.
I want to talk about that
Sure.
In a minute, everyone getting involved. It's a notion you expressed a little while ago. First, though, the governor keeps saying that Southwest Michigan is a bright spot in this economy. Do you see that to be true?
It is true. And what I won't say to you is that I will never tell folks that we don't have our own set of issues and challenges. We do. I see them as opportunities, no matter what they are, good or bad or positive or negative, however you want to describe it. We have been the jewel, as I call it, of the state of Michigan in regards to job creation and We're the city of the promise. You know, there's no community that I believe has more promise than ours. Those are the things that are helping us sustain and maintain and grow. Not to say that there aren't other things knocking on our door, but I think we've put together many different teams in this community that are working in many different areas. Our challenge of the day will be trying to bring that all into something that we can, you can, I can wrap our arms around and move forward. That's the challenge of the day, is how we work together, how we see what's before us, and keep that spirit and that positive mindset that we've had things in the past that have been in front of us and we've gotten through. We've had walls and barriers that over the years, in our 125-year history of being a city, there's been a whole bunch of stuff that we've faced, but we've gotten through. Tornadoes coming through our community. Many of us were here for that. Riots in regards to our school system way back when, being the first public community or public high school in the U.S. Our high school, Kalamazoo Central, was the first publicly funded high school. All of those things in the day, whether it's race issues to issues we're going through right now, we've been able to get through them. Still, things are out there, but we're going to work it every day.
You talked about the promise. Is the promise doing what we expected it to do?
I would say the promise is on the path of doing all the things we expect it to do. More individuals have moved to our community, and when I say community, I'm not just talking about the borders of our city. We have students in our school system that had a declining enrollment, but now we have increased enrollment of students in our school system. We've passed millages. We are building and have built one, and in the process of building another brand new school, a middle school and an elementary. We haven't built a new school in many years. I think many of those things are because of the promise and the opportunity that we see ahead, that it will truly have a huge impact. We have to watch this over time. It is, as most things, we would love the instantaneous, we're Americans, we'd love the instantaneous gratification of having everything change right now. But I know that we've had dropout rates lowering, not where we want them, but lowering. I know we've had increased MEP scores. I know that we have more kids in college than we've ever had come out of our school system in the 3 years that we've had, or 3.5 years that we've had the promise. We've got more, we've got more, we've got more. So
When you go to those mayor's events in other places, do you get mayors coming to you saying, how did you do that promise thing?
well, I don't have yes and no. Most of them hear about it, have heard about it, but they don't carry it with them. They don't immediately meet me and say, oh, you're the guy from the Promise community, the community of Promise. They don't do that. However, they do ask a lot when I start talking about economic development, and I talk about our community. Then they go, oh, you're that community. How'd you do that? On and on and on. How's it affected? And it's been an interesting ride with other mayors to be able to talk about the Kalamazoo Promise. But the true promises that we have in this community, the true promise are our kids, our children. They're making the promise reality. And this huge responsibility that everyone often calls this a gift, great and wonderful, call it a gift if you want. The promise is a responsibility that we cannot let just fall to the wayside, or not, when I talk about engagement, cannot not, my teachers would love that, engage on this. It's an amazing, amazing responsibility. And I think we will, over time, continue to be up to the task. And over time, you will see the benefits rolled out in many ways.
Speaking of engaging folks, the promise has allowed a motivation for some who might not have been engaged to get engaged. But we still have some challenges in that department. For example, we had a group of young people attack a man in the city limits recently, and I heard a fair amount of response to that as a situation where those people were not engaged. Now we get to the point where I ask you about your call to the community to get engaged, so they'll be engaged. Talk about that.